Hi everyone, this is part 2 in the journal making of the pink monster, and I just thought I'd show you my process. It might be helpful. So I've sorted all of my papers now into 4 piles, and there's about 12 pages in each pile, and the number of pages will depend on how big your journal is and how thick the papers are and how much you're going to decorate and add to the journal. So I just sort of start with around a dozen. Somewhere between 10 and 15 is normally how it works out. I had this little pile of skinny scraps, and so I've gone through, and any pages that had, this is quite aged paper and it was quite fragile on this edge, I've just added a little bit of that strip just in the pink. So I've got, some music paper, another piece of music paper, and I've just folded that piece in half. That was a little bit torn on the edge. This one is just plain. I've got a plain pink, the digital. This is hand dyed paper, and where it was torn, I've added some of the shimmer tape. I'll link the video below for that. Another piece of digital, just plain copy paper. The scrapbook paper, I've added a little strip there, so that's become a pocket, and a strip there so that will look nice in the journal. Again, added a little bit of scrapbook paper either side, and it just makes a white page add some colour. And the same on this one. So that's the first signature. And then what I do, so I've got my 4 signatures, and they're all a little bit different. I've got some book paper. I've joined this one just onto another piece of paper with some washi, and you can see I've just added, again, just joined 2 bits of paper so that they're going to be up the right way. This is the paper I got with the flowers, and again I've just added a little bit of paper on the edge, and that makes it firmer as well. And just a blend of papers. So I've got my 4 signatures. There's another one. Again, I've joined 2 bits of 6x6 paper with a little bit of washi, and just a mix of papers in each. I've also mixed up the heights. So for example, this will be 1 page, and I'll set it in the journal at different heights. And so I've done that as well. For pieces that are longer, this will end up folding over at some point, and you can see there's all different heights and thicknesses and types of paper. So that's that stage ready to go. And then all I do next is I sit with my pile of papers and put the signature together in a way that works and pleases me. So you just pretty much sit down and try and keep things the right way up, and then just put your signature together in a way that works for you. So I'll speed it up and show you that process. So there's the 4 signatures ready to go. There's a really nice blend of different coloured papers and sizes and thicknesses. And some pieces will need to be trimmed down a little bit, and I'll do that as I'm going along. So once that's ready to go, the next thing I've done is I've gone through, this is the ephemera from the Pink Collection kit, and I've made myself little envelopes. These ones are going to be sewn into signatures, or one of them will be, so I can sit that in the middle of one of the journals, probably one with a full-size page, and that can get stitched in with the signature. So that's there. And then I've gone through and I've glued in all the little envelopes. I've glued together, I've put backing on the tags, I've folded all the little page tabs, added some scrap paper and glued things together. I've cut a little image ready to go into the specimen card and added a little bit of plastic, so that's ready when I want to put that together. I folded and glued all the little envelopes, inked anything I wanted to ink, journal cards. I've put some little plastic in behind this frame, and so basically I've just made this ephemera ready to put into the journal. And then I've made the little envelopes stack up, and I've lined these envelopes so that they've all got a little bit of a sturdier top. So that's a little envelope stack ready to go in. And I've folded everything. Again, I've used an old packaging bag to put some plastic onto that. That can be a nice tag somewhere. And so basically I've got all of the ephemera from the kit. And this is ready for me to start adding to the journal. Like, I could add stamping and, you know, butterflies and flowers and so on, but for the most part it's just ready to put into the kit when I'm ready to start decorating. And then with the other little envelope of stuff, this is from my stash, I've done the same thing. So I've gone through and just put all the little bits and pieces in. I've gone through and added, like, if I've made a little booklet out of that little scrap of paper. I've lined that with some packaging so that can be a corner pocket. I've, you know, joined 2 pieces together with a hinge so that can be a little flip up. I've lined this little printout. There's a little booklet of tags that can just get popped in. And anything, I've just folded up some scrap paper so that can be one of the little interactive elements, a little interactive envelope, just a little strip that might hold something or hide something. Trimmed down little bits of ephemera. Again, I've lined this little scrap so that can be a little pop-up or a book. There's another little envelope from scrap paper. And so all of this, there's a pocket there ready to go in, the little file folder ready to decorate, journal cards. I just creased a little piece of paper that's been embossed, and that can be a flip of some sort. There's a few stickers ready to go in. I've made a little booklet out of that scrap of paper, just with some scraps of paper that can tuck into a pocket. And so basically all of these little bits and pieces are ready to just pick up and decorate and add to the journal. So I've done that as well. So that's the second stage that I do. And then I know now that I can start adding bits and pieces as I like. And you can see from the amount of stuff that I'm going to have way too much stuff. So that's the extra stuff, and that's the stuff from the journal. That's the thickness already of the 4 signatures. So I start adding these bits and pieces is the next stage. And that's the reason why I don't make the signatures and put them into the cover and stitch them in and then decorate, because I don't know how thick this is going to turn out. And by having it sitting the signatures loose like this, I can go through and just add my bits and pieces. So what I'll do for the next stage is I'll actually go through and place all these bits and pieces in throughout, and I'll give you a quick flip through when I've done that.